Okay, done. All right, let's double check and see if we are live here today. All right, I think we are live here today. Let's go ahead and try this out, everybody.
Let's go. Come on, yo.
Welcome, Chi-Time Sports.
Hear that beat?
Let's go.
My head's just rocking.
Show mercy on it.
R.I.P.
Aye. So the
Welcome
museo.
out.
For the homie.
Welcome out. This is Drew.
The legend.
Yeah.
All love here.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. We're just coming back on. We know we just came on for our initial live stream and pilot episode for Chi-Time Sports. We got a few things figured out, and we wanted to come back to you guys.
We love the
just
comments.
A little bit better.
Keep it
Yeah,
going. Keep it going. We love y'all.
Exactly. So we got the NHL on here. We got Stanley Cup Finals. We got
Panthers, man. Panthers. What's happening?
Panthers are up 2-0 over there on the Oilers.
Come on,
Yeah.
Canada. I'm down. Come on, Edmonton.
Yeah,
Let's
not
do
looking,
this.
not looking so good over there.
Not Gertz.
Yeah, let's see here. All right, so we got the game cast going on for you guys here as well. We can put it out on Twitter that we're posting out on the NHL.
It's all Panthers right now, y'all. All Panthers. Oilers. It's at home, right? We're playing.
They're in Florida. Yeah, the Panthers got home.
Oh, they have home
ice
field.
advantage.
Home ice.
Yeah, home ice.
Home ice. You
advantage.
gotta correct me on that.
Yeah, I think this is the farthest distance between two teams that they've ever had.
Oh.
As far as the distance between two teams, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. So
Just
I
random.
think it was
What's
like
the
2,500 miles between Edmonton and
What's the
Paradise,
temperature in
Florida.
Canada like right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's
I'll look it
summertime
up.
up there. I'm sure it's
Summertime?
beautiful. Edmonton out here is beautiful this time of
Beautiful.
year, actually.
Beautiful,
Summertime
beautiful.
out there. Yeah.
Speaking about Canada, Russell Pips Verstappen to Canada pole in dramatic qualifying. What do you think about that? Lewis Hamilton now with Mercedes.
I don't understand F1 that well as far as, isn't it just the best car wins?
That's pretty much it.
Whoever has the fastest
Car
car is
usually
going to win.
wins.
Hey, Bob,
Madden.
I'm going to go out on a limb
Madden.
here, but I'm going to guess
Madden,
that,
shout out to the great Madden.
yeah, whoever's got the fastest car here is probably going to win.
That's a Madden right there, bro. I love that analysis. Whoever scores more points in basketball usually wins.
Absolutely. That's
But
kind of how that
it's
tends
all
to
about
go.
heart. It's
That's
all
how that tends
about
to go.
heart. Yeah. T20. Are we going to talk about the big one tomorrow, Bob?
Yeah, India, Pakistan. That's the biggest thing going on right now. Let's pull some up news. Cricket tournament here. We got. We can review some scores actually if we want to.
Australia. What's happening
Yeah,
with them?
let's give a little bit of recap. We can actually go back down here to the beginning. The first, our group stage, our match one was actually Canada USA. Opening up. It turns out that is the oldest international cricket tournament in history. Was the USA versus Canada.
1844. I
Yeah,
think.
like 30 years or something like
Crazy.
that before this. England and
is-
Australia started with the Ashes.
That is it's just crazy that nobody even knows about it, and they.
I'm assuming there were less Singhs and Patels on the USA team on the
Stop,
1855 and
stop,
Thadivas and
stop.
yeah, we don't have our
But
sound effects
anyway,
yet.
just wanna yes.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have to talk about these Cinderella stories.
Let's recap
Let's
these
go
scores
over
though.
it.
So we
Go
got
over the scores,
USA. That was a hell of a match actually. That
Great
one,
match.
that was a great match. One thing real quick about T20. I understand that because of the test matches and maybe because of ODIs, they give the score by how many wickets they won by. That's really irrelevant, right? I really want to know how many balls were left.
Runs.
So that's why in parentheses 14 balls left. Yeah, I want to know like how many overs were left. How close? Yeah,
wickets are irrelevant in the
Yeah.
T20 game. It's a different format,
Although in this tournament, there've been teams that have been getting out. All 9-10 wicket rate wickets. Haven't seen it. You don't see that in the IPL.
Here's what
The pitch in India, they're scoring 200 runs.
I need somebody, one of our followers, subscribers, something you got to answer is how come fast bowlers such as Mark Wood from England, who's a flamethrower, he in the test match gets 5 people in the slip, and then today he's getting hammered back-to-back sixes. I just don't understand. Please, please, please share your knowledge with me. I love the T20 format, but sometimes I feel like great bowlers like Archer for England gets hammered. I didn't agree with the decision to start the spin in the second over. I think Moeen Ali had a great first over, but the game really changed. They went after the spinners in the second over, and then they went back to the pace bowling. So please, please, please let me know what you thought of the game plan. As usual, Australia, they're the LA Lakers, new LA Lakers of old, the New England Patriots. They're a machine. And Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, those boys, David Warner, the legends, they've got it under control. It's a wrap. When Australia play, you got to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. They're a well-oiled machine.
Whether it's T20, whether it's Test, whether it's ODIs, it doesn't seem to matter. There is another format of cricket called the 100. How many overs is that? I think it's 16.6 or something overs. It is. Yeah, it's 100 balls, not 100 overs. Yeah, 100 balls. That's going to be going on this summer as well in England. Right now they got the county cricket championships going on in England. They also have the T20 Blast, sponsored by Vitality Insurance, not us, but them, the tournament. So they called it the Vitality T20 Blast. And I apologize to people as I'm fixing the screen here, trying to get the screen a little bit better for you guys. I always wonder about that if you're the cricketers left back home in England playing the T20 Blast and playing for the county championship, these guys are the same people striving to get on the national squad, I imagine, right? To try to make these T20 trips. They would love to be in the World Cup,
They
wouldn't they?
would, and that's one of the things, though, because you've got so many formats of cricket nowadays, and it comes back to, how can you stay healthy for all of these formats, and is it worth it financially? I mean, you look at the English Premier League, and there's so many different FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Then you've got your international duties. Right now, the CONCACAF Cup is going on, and USA didn't do so well against Colombia, 5-1 today. That was not a good performance, but I just with the game, the way it's changed. You have to pick and choose your battles. Is it worth it playing all these formats of every single sport? But South Africa, Netherlands, T20. I'm sorry, going back to that cricket, but Netherlands is the boogie team for South Africa, and
they were in trouble for a minute.
They were in trouble, and South Africa, the Proteas pulled it off. Great pace bowling. Very low scores. Very low score in this one. I think it was 109. What South Africa put on the board. And actually, the combined score of 209 between both teams was the lowest out of all the games that they've played in my what I have heard. T20 right now. That's the big story. US is the host, correct?
Yeah, U.S. and the West Indies. The West Indies, so they're playing these games in Barbados. They're playing them in New York. They're playing them in Florida, and they're playing them in Dallas as well. First time I think they're hosting this World Cup tournament out here, but they're also having it's a great time for people in North America, Canada, and America to learn more about cricket. It's been around for a while. I didn't even realize the USA.
Time.
Yeah, apparently, like we talked about, longer than the other places. However, they also have Major League Cricket starting up. It's the second season starting up.
Wow.
Major League Cricket, yep. And that's going to be coming up this summer right after this. So there's so many of these leagues now. They're all T20 format, though. They're going to have a Caribbean T20 league. They have the IPL just ended. They got the World Cup coming on, like we talked about. They got the Blast going there. They're going to have Major League Cricket here. It's just T20 season after T20 season.
Seems like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That is the way cricket is heading. The T20 is, it's the new, it's what is needed to get this promoted, especially in the States. Because cricket, as we know, is a big sport in a lot of the countries such as England, India, Australia, Pakistan. So it's not like this is a relatively new sport. It's been around for a while, but in the States we need to embrace it more. And I think this tournament is going to do a great job helping get this sport out. And if I'm not mistaken, the ICC has reported that the winner of the tournament is going to get, actually, in the money that they're going to make is about $2.45 million which is a lot.
That is insane, especially
It's
for
a
the
lot.
sport of cricket. But if you're a cricketer, you're thinking finally. You're thinking that finally
Well,
you're in age,
yeah,
right?
Because otherwise, it's been a while.
these Test cricket teams, they're not clubs, right? It's not a club sport, and so these teams are really, national teams. They're getting paid by governing bodies and governments, right? And so,
Right.
just like state schools can only pay so much here in the U.S. for their employees, the governments can only
Absolutely.
pay so much, and taxpayers only want to pay so much for their cricketers.
I mean, even if you're a semi-finalist, you're still taking a decent amount. I think it's in the amount of 800,000, and that's a big amount from a lot of these countries that might need to get this infrastructure with these funds. So you're seeing a lot of teams compete really hard. The underdogs so far have done really well, and it is much more competitive, as we've seen with the scores. Panthers, Oilers, still 2-0. Are we heading into halftime?
Yeah, well, it's intermission. Yeah, three
Intermission.
periods. So they have long breaks in between each. The longer break in between the second and third period there. But they're holding strong there, 2-0. And Edmonton's. Let's see if they can make a late comeback. They've made some late comebacks
What's the money line
earlier.
on this? What's
Let's
who's
check that.
favored?
Let's pull that up here actually for you. We can pull that up and let's check the line. We like to use Bet365. They're the biggest betting site in
What do you
the
think
world.
about DraftKings?
Yeah, hey,
Right, shout out to
whoever wants to
DraftKings.
sponsor us, we
Amen,
love them. We love you.
amen.
If you want to sponsor us, we're good to go. Let's take a look here what we can get. NHL hockey, and let's see, Stanley Cup. Money line, Panthers heavily favored, minus 850 for this first game. Actually,
Did they
Here we
play?
take a look there.
Did they play Did they have a tough schedule in the playoffs? I mean,
I think the
compared to
Panthers. I think the Panthers are have been favored.
they are the
Yeah,
favorites
I
to
think
win
they're
the
just.
whole
I think they've
thing.
just had the better team. Yeah, overall throughout the season, and that's
How did the LA Kings do this year?
They made it to the playoffs. They did well. Yeah, the LA
Yeah.
Kings do well. They got a solid fan base. They tend to always do well. The Kings put out a solid team. On generally speaking, they're probably the best hockey team in California historically. That's for sure. The poor Sharks and the Ducks have never really been able to accomplish amount to anything here. So
Quick segue to tennis. I know there's something big
Roland
going on.
Garros. Yes, coming up tomorrow. The final will be coming on. Alcaraz versus is it Zverev coming up tomorrow?
But I want to give a shout out to the ladies, especially Swiatek. She has won her 5th major. She beat Jasmine Paolini from Italy in a straight sets victory. It was a very quick game, 6-2, 6-1. Coco Gruff offered more resistance in the semifinals. This finals was not a competitive final. It's always good to give the underdog, an opportunity, or you're rooting for the underdog. However, it was a wham bam, thank you, man.
Yeah, 2 sets, went really quickly. It was a 1-hour match. Alcaraz favored, money line minus 275. Zverev is the underdog. You can see the parlays here. You could get in with some good things. If you wanted to get real squirrely, look at this plus 700 that you get. Alcaraz wins the match and he wins set 1 6-3,
Wow.
6-4,
Wow.
5+ aces. I mean, you could get on there. Oh, yeah,
That
it's deep.
semifinal, Alcaraz played against Sinner. That was magnificent. That was tennis at its finest. 5-set thriller. Fatigue was cramping in. Literally, they had cramps. Game was delayed a little bit because of some physical fatigue. And then in the other side, the other semifinal, not so competitive. Zverev from Germany pretty wrapped it up pretty quickly in 4 sets. So yeah, it's great that we're gonna have a new champion since, I don't know, 2002, 2003, 2004, when Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer were not in. So this is great. We need new blood. As much as those guys are awesome, it gets old.
Yeah.
It gets real old, and we just need it's just a great story.
Yeah, there it is, 4 and counting for Swiatek in Paris, and she's just dominating the women's tennis sport right now. Good, after Serena and Venus Williams' reign in women's tennis,
Yes.
we haven't really had Coco Gauff is making a name for herself,
She
of
is.
course, She's still young, but we really haven't had somebody to come in and dominate. Is Swiatek now the hands down
favorite?
Yeah, is she the hands down leader in women's tennis at this point?
I don't know what's going on with Medvedev. I was really, really rooting for Medvedev to come far, make it into, at least have a deep run. However, not so well. His game, to me, is suited for the hard courts. I thought he was on fire, but I think in the fourth round he had an early exit. He's a very talented player, but talent doesn't win it all the time.
No.
You got to watch what?
You got to watch film. You got to watch film. You got to make
Tape?
adjustments. Yeah, you got to be watching tape. You got to be watching film, making adjustments. The women's rankings there. We do have Swiatek number 1, Sabalenka's number 2, Coco Gauff number 3 in the world there.
I was rooting for Coco. Come on, Coco. I used to love Coco Crisps back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Coco, come on, you got this.
We can't try to figure out. Sorry, trying to play with the screen here. I was trying to get our analytics up. See how many people are viewing us out there. If you are watching, please like and subscribe to the channel.
We love y'all.
Yes. I think we had more viewers on our first YouTube video there. Let's take a look and see what we
Euro friendlies today. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, you want to recap some scores?
Absolutely. Euros starting out in Germany. We have England are the favorites. England have been the favorites for a long, long time, but that's a whole different story. Come on, England, we need you. England, we gotta have you step it up. It's been what, 58 years?
Since 1966. I'm trying to find the start here today, what we got going on today. So here was the matches today that we had, international friendlies.
Thank you. Please let us know.
Yeah, let's see if there was any upsets. I know that there were some teams that went home unhappy a little bit today. USA lost to Colombia, and they're warming up down here. And obviously not for the Euros, but for the CONCACAF.
Shout out to Hungary. Hungary won 3-0. My boy from Liverpool, Dominic Sloboslai plays. So I'm rooting for Hungary. Come on, yo. Need you. Portugal always.
France, Canada warming up tomorrow. Argentina, Ecuador, Slovakia, and Wales coming in tomorrow there for you.
CONCACAF, strong tournament. South American players, very, 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 very strong. You've got the Liverpool players, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez. You've got Ederson from Man City, the goalie, but I think he fractured his orbit during a Man City game. But shout out Alisson Becker from
orbital
Brazil.
floor fractures,
They'll get you.
Those orbital floor fractures, you
they'll
gotta watch
get
out.
ya.
Hopefully he saw a good maxillofacial surgeon while he was out there.
Yeah, you should. Shout out to the surgeons. Shout out to all the specialties. Shout out to dentists. Shout out to doctors.
Let's check the lines there on Euro coming up here. Let's take a look
Who's the
at what the
favorites?
lines are. Let's
England?
take a look and see.
England might.
Let's see, Euro 2024. Here we go. So, matches, future standings. We can take a look here. Friday, June 14th, the opening match is Germany-Scotland. Yeah, they're going to open it up at home. That'll be at the Allianz Arena, home of my Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Beautiful München, Bavaria,
What
Germany.
happened this year to Bayern Munich? What happened, Bob?
They got Harry Kane. You get Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, the legend,
Yeah.
who wins everything except for the big ones.
That's it.
Dude, what's happening? I heard the Scotland team not going into good form. They are not favored to do well. That's what I've heard. They've lost a lot of games coming into this during their friendlies, so morale is low. Let's see what happens.
So to win the Euro 2024 tournament outright, England is the favorite at plus 333. France is right behind them at number 2 at plus 400, and Germany at plus 550. I guess what you would want to see is where's a value pick here, right? Belgium, the Red Devils, how many tournaments in a row have they been almost? It's their turn. It's almost their turn.
Almost.
I mean, are they the Phoenix Suns? You know what I mean? Maybe something like that. Are they past their prime? Was the last World Cup their last real shot at it? Otherwise, are they value pick? The Netherlands, the Dutch, right? When are we going to get back to the glory days?
Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten. I remember those.
Wonderful, beautiful game that they played in the 70s. They won some European Cups back in that time. Are they a value pick? Croatia. yeah, are they going to be a value pick at 4,000 plus 4,000? Otherwise, you get past that, and who really has Denmark, Turkey, Switzerland? You really don't anticipate those teams having a good shot at this. So really, your top
You
6
gotta play
teams
for
there,
pride, though.
basically.
You got to play for pride.
Yeah.
That you're representing your country.
Italy had a poor showing at the World Cup last
Very
time.
poor.
Did not qualify, I believe, for the last World Cup for the first time in a long time. 1,400 plus 1,400 to win the Euros out right here.
That's not good.
No, that is not good. Let's take a look. NBA Finals coming up. Game
talk
2
to me, Bobby.
tomorrow.
Talk to me,
Let's
Bobby.
see. Money line. The Celtics are favored
The
tomorrow.
Kings aren't in it?
Oh,
no.
yeah,
Somebody wake me up.
Sacramento.
Somebody
Get your
Sacramento?
cowbells out. Get your cowbells out.
Man.
Yeah,
What's happening to my
sorry,
Sacramento
yeah.
Kings? Is Weber still around?
Chris Webber, no.
No?
Nor's restaurant.
No?
He had a
Oh,
great
geez.
restaurant. Center
Talk
court.
to me about
Shout out
that.
to Natomas in Sacramento. He
Love Sacktown.
Yeah,
I love
no,
Sacktown,
that's-
you know?
yeah.
Slam Son, the mascot. How you going to go
yeah,
wrong with that?
yeah.
Punjabis.
That's it.
Etiquette. I have a question. You
Yes.
know, when you sit front row, are you supposed to just sit regular front row? Or are you supposed to sprawl your legs like, you at your homeboy's crib? I'm just curious. I see some cats who are just
You
like,
see some people get real comfortable with those
Yeah.
those courtside seats
Yeah.
seem to me like they're pretty narrow, like people are shoulder to
Yeah,
shoulder.
so if I
You
go
see
like
some people
this-
really taking a lot of liberties, yeah.
Is that,
And,
is that kosher?
Also, if I was sitting courtside, I
don't wanna
would
sit with that
value
guy.
those tickets when halftime's over. I'd be back. The quarter start.
I
Yeah,
would
be-
just
Some of these people, you see these NBA games, and I'm looking at the people sitting courtside, and I always notice after halftime, it'll be well into the third quarter before they're coming back. They're
So if you're watching
paying that
the
much
game,
money for those
if
seats.
you paid a lot of money, do you have to be on your phone all the time at the game?
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm just
No,
curious.
just don't- yeah,
just
cell
a friend of
phones.
mine wanted me to ask you that.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to
Asking
back
for
to
a friend.
that. Back to the game.
PGA Tour Championship. Let's
Talk
take
to
a
me,
look
Bobby.
here. The Memorial Tournament. Tomorrow's going to be the final day. Sunday always for golf. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler, the heavy favorite. Heavy favorite.
What happened with
Yeah,
him at
he's number one minus
something
one.
happened
Yeah,
with
all
his,
charges dropped.
all
charges
charges?
dropped. That was just a big misunderstanding.
Oh, that's how it is.
Yeah, the cops didn't
Misunderstandings.
have his body cam on.
Shout
We've
out
all
to the
been
cops.
there.
Shout out to the
We've all
cops.
been
We
there.
love them.
Yeah,
Law and order,
exactly.
sir, and ma'am, and everything in between.
We've all been
We've
there.
been there, done that.
All been there. and all done that.
Misunderstandings.
That's it. That's it.
But yeah, back to the NBA. What's up with Luka? What's going on?
Let's see, Luka Doncic. People are saying, he's prepared for these tournaments. He's prepared for this stage. He's been played with Real Madrid when he was 15 years old, right?
Do you
in
want it,
Europe.
though?
And does
Do
he
you
want
want
it
it
more?
more?
Did he watch film and adjustments? Can they make enough adjustments? Do they have anything for Porzingis? Lively has to do more than put up. He had 0 points, I think, well later in that game.
He's the missing ingredient to me.
Yeah.
He's the X factor. X factor. Shout out to Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
X factor. Come on, Lively. Come on, man. Get those rebounds. Go hard. You got this.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to Deadpool, by the way.
Yeah.
I love X-Men. But I think Kyrie coming back to Boston, he's changed a lot. Very mature. He was very remorseful of his comments that he made. Sometimes, I have a question. What do you think of the Hurley?
I think
Lakers.
I think that'd be a great move for the Lakers. Maybe get somebody with the system, somebody with an offense, somebody with a plan, somebody who's motivated.
Is he going to run a
and
triangle,
aggressive.
modified triangle?
No,
Phil Jackson,
I don't
Tex
have
Winter
the-
style?
I haven't broke down the
No, the
analysis
Phil-
on the UConn X's and O's that much yet, but I do know that his offense works. They were dominating
He comes
teams,
from pedigree.
back-to-back championships. The Hurleys, well known in college basketball. He wants to make his name in the NBA. Yeah.
What do you think about Caitlin Clark being omitted from the Olympics?
She scored 30 the other day, by the way. She finally put up. She had a deep three. She put up 30.
She is not in the Olympics.
Yeah, I think that just like they put in the great young college players, even still, I would have put her in. I would have put her in for notoriety, for publicity. She sells shirts. She sells jerseys. She sells tickets.
She's averaging 60.8 points.
The Washington WNBA team, the Mystics, I believe, they had to move their game that was played against the Indiana Fever to the NBA stadium because they didn't have enough seats in the WNBA stadium, and they sold it out.
Do you believe the hype? Are you?
Yeah,
are
she's
you a
great.
believer?
I watched her.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. She's great. She's great for the game. She's like Steph Curry. She's getting young kids into it. They're chucking up threes.
Is
She's
she
good for
coming
the
at-
modern
is she being
WNBA.
targeted?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's too bad
It's-
for her.
it's
She was
not
set up
all-
for failure. Set up
Yeah?
for failure. Yeah, I heard a great interview on the DP show. Shout out to the Dan Patrick show. We're
DP,
big
we
fans.
love you.
We love
We
you
love
guys.
you.
Yeah, they great interview with the UConn head coach. Gino Auriemma, and he brought up some good points that she's been set up for failure. It's been tough for
Charles
her.
Barkley isn't a fan of what they're doing to her.
No, not.
Shout out to
No,
Charles
no.
Barkley, the greatest. He was not terrible. He was the real deal. Charles Barkley, I remember you said that where we are athletes are not your role
Not your role
models, and you
models.
got a lot of flack for it. You were so right. You were 100% right, and yeah, I mean, Charles Barkley said she's being targeted, but we'll see. I mean, I've seen some of the fouls; they look aggressive, but she's handling herself well.
That's
she's
it.
really
Absolutely.
handling herself
She
well.
is. She really is.
She'll grow and learn from being left off the Paris roster. Speaking of Paris, you know who was there last year?
Who's that?
This guy.
Oh,
Paris.
what were you doing in Paris?
It's funny you asked that, Bob. Sometimes, the romanticism kicks in, behind this strong exterior.
Oh, there we
with
go.
The rugged,
Yeah.
there's a romantic part, did a surprise thing for the wifey, went to Paris, and surprisingly, we were at Paris at the time when the World Cup was going on.
Oh,
and it was
very
the
nice.
Rugby World Cup.
Very nice. Very nice.
Beautiful sport. Amazing athletes. You would think that these athletes would be wearing any padding, helmets. They're going old
Rugby,
school.
like I've said, it's a sport for hooligans played by gentlemen. The refs it's the best relationship between players and refs
They
in any
talk
other
to 'em.
sport. The refs talking
talk
to
to
them.
'em.
He's telling them, use it,
So-
use it. They're telling them they're with them.
They're giving feedback.
You get it's the most referee controlled sport.
Amazing.
The ref really controls
For
the
how
flow.
physical it is.
They don't argue. Nobody complains, and it's a hell of a sport. Rugby union. There's also rugby league. We'll get more into that as the channel goes on. But two different types of rugby, and there's a rugby union. Folks sometimes don't like the rugby leaguers, and the rugby leaguers don't like rugby union.
And back to what you were saying, they're developing rugby in a lot of the countries that are now up and coming. Namibia, for example.
Oh, Namibia, yeah. The
God bless
for those of
their
you who don't
coach,
know, in the recent
it
World
was
Cup,
not
Namibia,
good.
I think, lost one match. I believe it was about
100 to 1?
96 to
No,
0.
they had a
I think
try.
It was. Yeah, they did.
But
have
they
a
were
try.
motivated.
Yeah, they were.
They did want it
motivated, that's
more,
for
but their
sure.
bodies didn't and their brain didn't.
Exactly.
But as the tournament progressed, the games got more competitive.
Yes.
And South Africa, the Proteas won back-to-back. They beat who?
South Africa won the World Cup final against Ireland.
I think they beat
Oh,
the
the
All
Great
Blacks.
Britain. Oh, yes, New Zealand. I'm sorry.
The haka.
Yes, the haka.
That's
the haka. Sorry. Yes.
Which I think is an amazing coordinated dance. And I'd always want to think, when somebody's doing that in my face, how do I even respond? Do I laugh to get the story, the reason why they do the haka? They want the spirits. It's a
warrior dance. Yeah, when they're going to war.
But I would
absolutely.
just laugh. Is that the best way to combat haka? It's like plays. How do you combat a 4-3 defense? Or is that prevent?
South Africa was able to do it. They do that haka dance in all of those leagues. They have a Super Pacific Rugby League out there, and all those teams do it. So it's not just the All Blacks.
Shout out
now,
to the Flying Fijians.
Now, what about the New Zealand Black Caps? The cricket team. They could have used a little bit of the haka dance magic. Yeah,
Afghanistan.
Not a great trick. Afghanistan has recently they've beat England. They've beaten Pakistan. They've beaten in with their ODIs or T20s. They've beaten Sri Lanka.
They've come a long way.
Yeah, they've come a long way. I've been,
way.
by the way, Bob, Afghanistan, for those of you who never made it
Army,
over there.
shout out. Army vet. We're both Army vets.
But I would say, it's not one of the places it's high on our list of, highly recommended vacation spots. But
It's not?
I don't
I'll
know
take
that
a pass.
I don't know that
I'll
I'll be
pass
going
that
back.
one.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll be headed back over there anytime soon. But,
So I won't tell the pilot to stop by.
No,
All right,
exactly.
I'll pass. But they bowled out New Zealand for 75 runs. Now, New Zealand, for people who are not familiar with cricket, New Zealand is not a powerhouse, but they are a formidable opponent. And Faruqi ended up with 4 for 17. And he was brimming with pace. And they boosted their Super 8 chances. They're top of Group C. They beat Uganda. And they're in the driver's seat. He had a fifer. If you don't know what that means, it's 5 wickets, getting somebody out. I mean, how would we explain that as a pitcher?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, that's just like mowing down. That's like 5 straight
Mowing
perfect
them down.
innings or something like that. Yeah.
And
It's a half a perfect game.
It's the captain, Kane Williamson from New Zealand, is not happy with the performance, and I don't blame him.
Well, it's one of the greatest performances for us in T20s against a big team like New Zealand, said the captain, Rashid Khan. Great feeling to be leading this side. They crushed New Zealand by 84 runs in Guyana.
Wow.
One of the West Indies hosts for this tournament.
This pitch,
Make it 2
Jesse,
wins.
it is doing weird things. I've been watching cricket for a long time.
It's got to be different in Barbados and Guyana versus
Oh,
New
my
York
goodness.
versus Dallas versus Florida. Every wicket's going to be different.
The pitches are curated, and if you're new to a place of a continent when you haven't played cricket, you really have to get a feel for that pitch. Usually faster.
Check the wicket before you cricket.
Absolutely. That's what they say.
Man, making t-shirts, check the wicket before you cricket.
Hey, DP. That's a shout out.
Yeah,
DP,
that's
DP.
it.
Don't take that from us.
Yeah.
But
I might
you know, I mean, the scores are so low in these games. Other than Australia, Australia just put on a clinic today. They're just a different beast.
USA has actually been one of the higher scoring teams.
185.
One of the higher scoring teams.
Because USA is playing
Yeah.
here. And
Yeah.
so they're used to the wicket and the surroundings. But what they did to Pakistan, I mean, frankly, Pakistan, that's a huge upset. Pakistan laid an egg. Shout out to all the Pakistan cricketer fans. I've seen one of the greatest fast bowlers, Waqar Yunus, Wasim Akram. You know, these guys, Shoaib Akhtar, the Rawalpindi Express.
Oh,
man,
yes.
Bowled the fastest bowler, 100 miles per hour. He's the fastest. Brett Lee was up there, but Rawalpindi Express, dude, you're a beast.
West Indies, Uganda, live actually on right now. We are 173 for 5 at the end of West Indies' run at the bat. Run rate of 8.65. That's pretty good for this tournament so far.
That's a
8.65 has been a great run rate.
That is great.
They had 18 runs on the last over. West Indies, Uganda's
Uganda's
final
kit is
bowler.
throwing me off a little
The
bit.
yellow
That's too little,
highlighters,
too
yeah, a
bright.
little bit like the
It's a little
Seattle
too bright,
Seahawks. A little bit
but,
like the
you know,
Seahawks.
And I know you're a fan of the Seahawks.
Oh,
I
big
know.
time, big time,
You know,
big
I know
time.
there's a little love between.
We love all the
lost.
fans here though on Chi Time
Absolutely,
Sports. So,
absolutely.
yes.
We love everyone.
West Indies, Uganda. Yeah, there we go. We are at innings break here. Live win probability. West Indies 99%. That's kind of a tough one because they haven't had a chance to bat yet. So I'm not sure how they calculate that live win. But let's take a look here. How many runs did we get from these gentlemen here? Let's see who put up. Yeah, Johnson Charles, their number 2 batter, put up a solid 42. Almost got a half century for them there. Yeah, they ended up. It looks like they're going to be a. That's a formidable number for Uganda to try to put back up. Let's see
What's going on with the Stanley Cup? Are we in intermission?
Yeah, I think it's that second intermission there
Yeah,
still, and
2-0.
we're also in inning break. So we got 2 games going on live right now. We got West Indies, Uganda, innings break there. West Indies 173 for 5. They had 14 extras in those 20 overs there. So they got halfway through their batting order, but they put up a good run rate of 8.65. That's pretty good for this tournament, like we talked about so far.
I mean,
Group
the
C match.
scores have
West
actually
Indies and
been
Uganda.
averaging in the 140s, so that is a really, really good score on this wicket. I'm just excited for tomorrow, the big one.
Yeah,
The
India,
big one.
Pakistan, the Super
You
Bowl.
know, I wonder how Virat Kohli's going to fare. I mean, he is the lion, the original lion. Well, shout out to the legends, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid before him, Sunil Gavaskar, you know, Kapil Dev, blah, 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 blah. But Virat Kohli looks aggressive.
That's it.
There was a little scare. Rohit Sharma, uneven bounce during the nets, got a little, as the kids would say, got a little owie.
Oh,
But
he got a boo-boo. He got a little boo-boo
He got a
there,
little
yeah.
boo-boo, but no structural damage.
Does Team India travel with its own doctors, or do they just rely on all the Indian doctors that are here? Since they got this is a joke.
Boom,
but
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
exactly.
You know,
Let's take a look
see,
at the squad.
I see what you did there, Bob.
Let's take a look
I
at the
see
squad.
what you did there.
India squad: Rinku Singh, Sharma, Shubman Gill,
Shubman Gill,
Yadav.
my favorite.
Virat Kohli, probably who's the most famous cricketer in the world right now?
Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli.
Oh, not just amongst India, amongst the world of cricket. Virat Kohli, gotta be right. Gotta be the most famous cricketer.
He's
Media-wise,
set the bar.
attention-wise.
Oh my goodness. He's
Does
a
his-
power couple.
Does he back it up on the pitch? Has he backed it up on the pitch?
It's been hit or miss. Hit or miss. I think as he's getting into father time, you know, scores are dwindling. But
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot. He's got the highest run rate against Pakistan, and so his game speaks for itself.
He's got some
Aggression.
stats matching Sachin Tendulkar, right?
He
For the India,
is a
for as far as
legend.
caps and runs scored and the amount of
He's up
matches
there.
it took him and his
He's
age.
up
Yeah,
there, you
I saw
know.
some interesting
But
stats.
you know what? In the end, it's whoever scores the most runs.
Yeah, you got to score more runs than the other team to win in this game, right? I mean, that's
Shout
what
out
it comes
Madden.
down to in cricket.
Shout
Hey,
out to
yeah,
Madden.
exactly right. Jadeja, he's been fantastic, right? He's been doing really well for them. So Bumrah, our boy, just bring Bumrah
Bumrah.
up.
So a very interesting fact about Bumrah, you know, very different. It's amazing with how much pace he can generate. His Yorkers are top notch. With that limited run up he has to generate that pace is amazing. He's shadowing Wasim Akram, Malcolm Marshall. However, because of how much pressure he's putting with that short run up, a lot of back injuries. You know, these bowlers with the format that they're in, playing this much cricket, health and nutrition. Health and nutrition, gotta stretch. That's why those stretches are so keen. and
Yeah,
key.
Ashwin seems to be a marvel of fitness. Okay,
Marvel.
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for
Marvel.
real. Is cricket the
There we
sport
go.
with the most out of shape, average dad bod, middle
Oh,
aged,
stop.
balding looking
Stop.
players? And okay, what is the average age of these cricketers? Let's take a look.
24.
24 years.
You
Yeah,
know,
Afridi.
I have,
Some of these guys got the hairlines of of me, Bob. There, but 24
let's,
years old. Yeah.
and we can fix that. Shout out to Bosley Hair
Yeah,
Clinics.
hey, if anyone wants to
But, hey,
sponsor,
Bosley, we're out there.
That's it.
But it is a question I ask myself, me being a finely tuned athlete that I am.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, yo. Today I started riding my bike
we
after
go.
so many years. I'm trying
Shout
to
out
get you
to
on there.
fitness. Shout out
fitness.
fitness.
Got to
That's
get
it.
your, as Nate Newton and Jesse Holly from the Dallas podcast say, got your mentals and your
That's it.
dentals.
Hey,
you got to get them
get your
fixed.
mentals and your dentals. That's it.
So today I
Get 'em
was
fixed.
on my bike, got the kids on the bike, kids got to be outdoors. I got to be outdoor. Being on a bike for so long,
Oh, yeah.
ain't no joke, man. It ain't no joke. It's beautiful though. Don't want to talk about work. Don't want to be in traffic. Got my bike and got my helmet. Keep that helmet. Concussions are real.
Let's take a look. End of the second period here. Still 2-0. I was gonna actually try to see if I could log into YouTube, see how many people are watching.
Love water.
That's
Gotta
it.
drink your water.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
All right.
Any questions from any of our followers?
Let's take
Bobby?
a look. Nobody in the chat right
Nobody
now.
in
Doesn't
chat
seem
room?
to be.
Share with us.
Well,
We're here
if
for
you are,
you.
though, I've got to take a look. Actually, how would we see? We got to go back to here. Let's take a look.
I want to talk about Liverpool season. I am a Liverpool fan. What happened to us? People say it was a great season. Jurgen Klopp,
Any questions,
amazing. We were on course to do the quadruple.
Yeah.
And how quick it changed.
Yep.
How quick it changed. I did something on my bucket list. I did something from something that I said, you know what? I'm gonna go and watch history. The moment I landed,
Oh gosh.
we lost to Atalanta.
Oh gosh, a
was
Europa
not good.
League team.
We lost to Europe, but Atlanta played great.
They
I
did.
mean,
They ended up winning that. At
they
least
did.
you lost to the eventual winners. If you're going to lose, you'd rather
have to
the
lose
team
it
you
like
lose
that.
to end up being the eventual winners. Next year, Liverpool will be in the Champions League, at least due to their finishing in the top 4 there.
We've got a new coach, Arne Slot. Big expectations, big shoes to fill. This job, Jurgen Klopp looked exhausted, tired, and he basically was burnt out.
We're hoping he takes a year off and just comes to coach Bayern.
Yeah, that's the
Being a
dream.
former Dortmund manager, I don't know if you would. Look at the top 4 there. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa will be their 4 teams for the Champions League.
When are Man City going to be having these charges
Yeah,
against them? They'll just pay. Is that how it is?
Oh, they're like Scotty Scheffler.
Oh,
Scotty Scheffler, Man
misunderstanding.
City. Hey, it's all
Teams like Nottingham Forest were taking points.
Louisville Police, EPL. It was a big misunderstanding.
Wolverhampton
That's what ended up
Wanderers were the team that voted to ban VAR, and the votes came in,
that go for
and
them?
it didn't go well. All the other teams, it was I think a 1-19 vote. VAR is still around.
Yeah, I like the VAR. I'd rather have it be right. I'd rather say let's just get it right. To be honest with you.
I after the Tottenham game where Liverpool got denied a goal, which we needed those 3 points, and VAR, Luis Diaz was disallowed a classic goal. We were down to 9 men in Tottenham, and we lost with a Joel Matip own goal. Who's remembering these things?
No, I know.
Who's remembering the details?
Nobody.
Nobody.
You're not who's counting, right?
Who's the sore
Yeah.
loser? Who's But that's why I'm a little bit skeptical of the VAR. Sometimes it's hard to know what's a goal or not.
Exactly. Exactly.
You remember when we went to see Liverpool play Man City over here at Rock and Bruce? We went.
Yes. Shout out Rock and Bruce here at
shout out-
Tustin.
yeah,
It's the Orange County Liverpool fan club gathering spot. Actually,
we were lucky we got a table.
Yes.
I pulled a few
Absolutely.
strings.
Yeah,
and we got a
exactly.
table.
Yep.
And we watched that game, and a lot of chances were missed, and those were the games You've got to take your chances.
That's it. You got to take your chances.
So what's the betting line?
So I wanted to talk a little bit about betting. Bet365, West Indies, Uganda. If you're joining us here in the live stream, we are watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is the end of the second period there. Florida Panthers have a strong hold on the Edmonton Oilers. But let's see. We just want a good series. Hopefully go 7 games. Right now, West Indies, Uganda. If you take a look here at the way the lines are looking right now, the West Indies are the heavy favorites.
We got to sit up straight. We have to be more professional.
Significantly better, actually. Minus 20,000 on there. You know what I do love is the types of bets. So you can bet how many runs Uganda is going to score after their first over. Over 4.5 or under 4.5.
Talk to me, Bobby.
Right? So if you bet they're going to score under 4.5, that's what the bet that's
So
favored.
tell me, if I put in $100,
You bet if
tell
you-
me.
if
I'm,
you-
I'm a novice at betting, and I want to get
The way it works,
really embrace
if you think Uganda is going to score less than 4.5 runs on their first over, then you want to bet if you bet 100, you have to bet $134 to win
get
$100.
$100. Got
Exactly.
it.
So basically, it's so favored that basically you're going to make less than you
Absolutely.
bet. However, the other way you can tell the odds go the other way plus 100. You bet 100, you win 100, so you get a lot more for your bet. You get over.
Have you ever thought it's interesting that when we're saying negative, that means you're a favorite?
Yeah, I've always wondered why they did that. You know, these guys, the big, the lines, the odds.
Just think of those things.
Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah, now, if they get a wicket, you can even bet they're actually favored. The favorite bet is that they'll get a wicket out in the first over there. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works here.
Wow.
Let's take a look and see as the Uganda comes up to bat here. You know, the African nations have been making a big push, though. Good for
Huge.
them. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see the growth of the sport around the world.
I love the growth, but not the kit.
Yeah,
Ooh.
ICC has been growing significantly. They're adding more associate members. T20 has really made a big difference for everybody. It enhances the fan experience, whether you like it or not, whether you're a traditionalist or not. It's here to stay. Yep, the T20 is going to be here.
It's here.
Regardless. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's a good time to take a little break.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to take a little break.
Amen.
Yep, we're going to be back on here tomorrow morning. We'll be
Well,
back for
for the
Roland
big one.
Garros. We'll be back for India,
big one.
Pakistan. Come join us tomorrow.
Please, please,
And,
please spread the word.
Thank you guys for joining us at Chat
And
Time
leave your
Sports.
comments.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye bye. Let's see how it looks with the video.
Congratulations. The next time you go live, you'll have to come back to the dashboard, start your next.